Right, so without a
Yes, sir.
further delay, let's now start our discussion. Alright, so can you guys see my screen now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so ilan na ba? Apat pa rin.
Yes, sir.
Apat pa rin. Alright, so for the chapter 3, we'll talk about data. Okay, so basically, lahat na nakukuha natin, okay, dito pala pwede na natin i-summarize. Lahat ng nakukuha natin, kahit maliit man yan or malaki or kahit anong variation of data, as long as may nakuha kang information, that is already considered as a data. Okay? So that is why everything, like literally 100%, everything generates data. Okay? So, ang pinakatawag natin when it comes to like everything, okay, we call that one big data. Okay? So, what is big data? So, dito pa lang siguro may mga idea na kayo or may nakarinig na sa inyo kung ano ba itong big data. Okay? So, ito na, isa na to sa mga trend. Okay? Like, after kasi ng cloud, parang hindi kasi enough yung cloud. To be exact. Frankly speaking, kahit pagsamasamahin mo pa yung Amazon, yung Google Drive, yung iCloud, kahit lahat-lahat yun, yung mga cloud na yun, hindi enough yun para ma-monitor yung mga data na pumapasok at labas sa pang-araw-araw. Okay, so you will see later on why. So data is information that comes from a variety of sources, such as people, pictures, text, sensors, websites, even animals. Okay, so data also comes from technology, devices like cell phones, computers, kiosks, tablets, and cash registers. So ito na yung mga basic. Okay? Ito yung mga parang major na pinanggagalingan ng data. Pero basically, lahat ng bagay or lahat ng mga technologies is pwedeng pagkuhanan ng data. Okay? So most recently, there has been a spike in the volume of data generated by sensors. So kahit ako hindi rin ako makapaniwala, like kailan lang kasi nag-boom yung technology natin, di ba? Parang like 10 years or 20 years ago, parang medyo hindi pa ganun. Pero parang ito, for the past 5 years or past 2 years, kama na lang. So sobrang laki, okay, ng parang nag-explode, kumbaga, bigla na lang dumami ng dumami. Especially right now, pandemic. So lahat nakahawak sa cellphone, lahat nakaharap sa computer. So, walang ibang mapagkaabalahan. Diba? So, sensors are now installed in an ever-growing number of applications and objects. So, this includes security cameras, traffic lights, intelligent cars, thermometers, and even grapevines. Okay? So, as you can see, like, eto mga sensors lang to na pwedeng magbigay, pwedeng magbato, or pwedeng mag-fetch ng data. Okay? So, from those sensors, you can get data. So, big data is a lot of data. So, when we say a lot of data, so parang walang hangganan yan. As long as marami, like, pag sinabi kasi natin lot of data, more than the average or more than the normal. So, meron tayong parang, okay, sakto lang. Parang masasabi mo pang sakto lang. Parang ganun. Like, for example, maybe meron kang 1 terabyte. Okay? 1 terabyte or 10 terabyte. So, maybe ranging from 1 terabyte to 10 terabyte is like normal. Okay. So, normal lang naman siguro sa isang tao na merong maximum of 10 terabyte, lalo na kapag malalaki yung mga nilalagay nyo, like games, movies, etc. Okay? So, normal pa yun. Pero paano kapag umabot na ng 1,000 terabyte? Like, next dun is petabyte. Okay? And then, imagine, isang tao merong 1 petabyte and then millions of people has data of 1 petabyte. And then, lahat yun, mababato lahat sa cloud. So, dun na pumasok yung problema. Okay. So, yung iba, syempre, nililimit na nila, like, okay, ito na yung kaya nating accommodate for this year. Kasi, syempre, yung iba naman, matatapos ng subscription, and then yung iba magsusubscribe pa rin, yung iba naman, mag-unsubscribe na. So, mababawasan. So, para may limitation. So, dito na ngayon, parang nakita nila yung risk, okay, ng data dito sa buong mundo. Kaya meron silang tinawag na big data wherein madidistribute ngayon instead of using just a server. So, dalawa yung server natin, pwedeng physical or pwedeng cloud. Pero instead of just those two, papasok na ngayon yung ikatlo, which is yung distributed server. So, ano tong distributed server na to? So, ito na yung mga parang, yung naturo ko last meeting or last meeting, yung fog computing Okay, wherein we have a server here which is also connected to the cloud server, pero mostly nandito lang yun. Okay. Pero kung gusto mo siyang ibato, okay, so pwede mo siyang configure, ibato for deeper analysis sa ibang tao, okay? So hindi na lang ikaw yung may access doon kasi nga binato mo na sa cloud. So pwedeng yung cloud kasi yan pwedeng pang public or pang private. So depende pa rin naman sa'yo. So ayun, hindi na lang yun yung mga gamit natin. Meron na tayong another server which is for this community or another server for this company instead of using your own physical server and then your own physical computer. Okay? So, para masabi nating big data yung isang bagay, so we consider three characteristics. Okay. So, hindi naman forget data tapos big data na siya agad. So, hindi ganun. Okay? So, it should be a large amount of data that increasingly requires more storage space volume. So, literally, kapag wala ka na mapaglagyan, that is already a big data. Pero don't get me wrong na kapag wala ka na mapaglagyan, that is already big data. So, dapat should be ranging from petabyte and above, which is like, kagaya ng sabi ko, not normal. Kasi sa ngayon, wala pa naman tayong sukat ng data. Okay? Yung definition natin ng big data is lot of data, which is not really a definite definition. Okay? So, basta malaki, big data na siya. Then second one is they have an amount of data that is growing exponentially fast. So, hindi lang siya malaking data. So, kapag data siya na malaki and then store lang siya dyan like, or ganun pa rin yung space niya for around 10 years na, walang nagbabago, or meron man pero very minimal, hindi mo siya matatawag na big data. It's just, you know, a big data. Pero hindi siya kasali dun sa big data talaga na sinasabi natin. Okay? So, dapat, it should be growing exponentially. Like, every second, nadodoble yung size. Sobra naman siguro yun. Every day, nadodoble yung size. Like from 1 petabyte, nagiging 2 petabyte, 4 petabyte, and so on and so forth. Okay, so parang ganon yung definition when it comes to growing exponentially fast. Okay? And then the last one is data that is generated in different formats. So hindi lang siya basta data, dapat iba't ibang data rin siya. Okay? So hindi lang dapat video, video lang. Hindi lang audio, audio lang. Okay? So dapat variety siya. Okay? Dapat marami para masabi natin big data. Kasi pag bunch of videos lang, then videos, data lang yon. Pag sinabi natin big data, it composed of many variety or types of data. Okay? So, para mabigyan lang kayo ng idea kung gaano ba kalaki yung mga data na nakukuha, okay, sa pang-araw-araw. So, how much data do sensors collect? Here are some estimated examples. So, coming from sensors in one autonomous car, so take note, one autonomous car lang to. Ilan ang car natin sa buong mundo? Millions or maybe even billions na. Okay? So, it can generate 4,000 gigabits of data per day. So, that's 4 petabyte per day. Imagine, one car lang yan. Okay? One autonomous car lang. Yan yung parang, let's say, nag-travel yung car na yun like for 10 hours, ito yung nakuha niyang data. So, bakit sobrang laki? Well, as we all know, ang autonomous car is like maraming ginagawa yan. So, may sensors siya dito sa harapan, may sensors sa ganito. So, actually, yung iba nga 6 na yung camera eh. Or 4 yung parang default kasi sa harapan, sa gilid, and then sa likod. Or pwedeng 2 sa harapan and then isa sa likuran. So, ayan. So, for puro video, puro audio, even text, or yung mga iba pa niyang ma-generate na data coming from that data. So, ito na yun, 4,000 gigabits. And then, an Airbus A380 engine generates 1 petabyte of data on a flight from London to Singapore. So, sa isang flight ng Airbus engine, so 1 petabyte naman siya on a day. Okay? Pero, depende kung bumiyahe siya ng 2 beses or 3 beses. Kasi ito is from London to Singapore lang. So, I don't know how many hours is that travel time. Pero for sure, maybe 5 hours. Hindi ko alam. Wala akong idea actually kung gaano kalayong London sa Singapore. Maybe 6 hours or 7 hours kasi parang dulo to dulo na yun eh. Sa kabilang side na kasi yung London and then nasa Asia naman yung Singapore. And then safety sensors in mining operations can generate up to 2 to 4 terabits of data. Okay. Oops. Mali pala ako dito. 4 terabit lang pala to. Okay. So, Yeah, 4 terabit lang. Okay, hindi peta. So, peta is composed of 1,000 terabit. Okay. So, ito na yun, 1,000 terabit na to, which is equal to 1 petabyte. So, going back to this one, so safety sensors in mining operations can generate up to 2 to 4 terabits. Okay? So, sobrang laki niyan. 2 to 4 terabits every minute. Okay? So, take note, hindi siya every day, but every minute. So, multiply nyo lang to by 60 para makuha ng data sa isang oras. So, pwedeng 120 to 240 terabits in just 1 hour. Okay. So, ganun kalaki. So, na-imagine nyo ba parang, di ba, parang sobrang beyond ng imagination natin. Like, kasi pag sa mga computers natin, like, 1 terabyte, medyo enough. Parang okay na yan for normal use. And then 10 terabyte maybe for hardcore people. Like, marami siguro silang nilalagay sa computer nila and such. Okay? Or ginagawa nila lang server yun for their certain company. Okay. So while big data does create challenges for organization in terms of storage and analytics, it can also provide invaluable information to fine-tune operations and improve customer satisfaction. Okay? So, yun naman, ang kagandahan kasi sa big data, ang dinagdag nila, hindi lang siya basta big data. So, part of being big data is first is they analyze. Okay, they analyze and then they process it. So once they process it, kukunin lang nila yung mga important parts like, kasi meron tayong mga redundant, di ba? Yung mga redundant na parang paulit-ulit na data. So yung iba, pwede na nilang disregard yon para mabawasan yung data na makukuha niya. So kung a-analyze niya muna and then pa-process, kukunin lang nila yung important data wherein dapat lahat sila unique para mas ma-maximize mo yung space. Okay, so ganun naman yung ginagawa ng karamihan, yung mga IT. Pero dahil nga meron na tayong cloud computing, so yung cloud computing yung gumagawa, which is also part of big data. So if you want to hear or learn from someone or in actual, so here's a video from San Diego or how San Diego's Metropolitan Transit System uses big data. So ito naman, train to wherein yun, araw-araw, ganun din, nag-accumulate sila ng data kung ano ba yung, anong araw siguro yung maraming tao, anong araw yung konting tao, anong araw yung, or anong oras yung maraming tao sumasakay doon, etc. etc. So kung ano man yung mga possible na gusto mong i-gather na data, so ando na yun. And then, yeah. So pwede nyong panoorin to kung gusto nyo, just control and then left click. Okay. It will lead you to a website. So, talking about large data sets, so companies do not necessarily have to generate their own big data. So as we all know, kapag sinabi kasi natin big data, ito yung mga malalaking kumpanya. Tama? So mostly, ito yung mga yung maiisip siguro natin. Yung Facebook, yung Instagram, yung Google. So ito yung may mga big data. Okay? Kasi sila yung mga may pang araw-araw na nakukuhang information, feedback, mga reports, mga ano pa ba, mga bug reports, mga good feedbacks, etc. Kung ano man yung mga data na makuha ng mga companies na yun. Pero, hindi nila kailangan gawin yun. Okay? It's not necessary na gawin nila yun palagi. Okay? Kasi, sa big data, again, sabi ko nga, meron na yung tinatawag nating cloud computing or analyzation and then process wherein i-disregard niya yung mga naulit and then kukunin nila yung mga important. So, hindi porket data, yan na siya. Okay? So, nasasala pa yan. So, sa big data, nasasala pa siya. Kukunin lang yung mga important data. So, smaller organizations might not have the sensors, the volume of customers, or the ability to generate the variety of information that could benefit your company. So, there are sources of free data sets available, ready to be used and analyzed by anyone willing to look for them. So, eto kasi, yung mga data na nakukuha natin, marami namang company na nag-share it publicly, especially US. Okay, parang kamakailan lang, pinablik nila yung data na nakukuha nila like from census, yung mga ano ba, stocks of this animal, ilan yung nabentang computers, and so on and so forth. Like parang nagiging transparent na sila. Okay? So, pag nilap-click nyo to, So, malilid kayo sa website. So, website to ng Forbes wherein naka-indicate lahat yung mga dataset na na-process na. Okay? So, mostly dito is from US. So, data.gov, census.gov, Socrata, meron din galing sa Europa, meron din galing sa UK, galing sa Canada. Actually, parang lahat ng mga data ng mga bansa is meron dito. Okay? Ilan na ba yung population? So, ito yung mga common na makukuha nyo sa dataset. Ilan na ba yung population sa UK? Ilan ba yung cow? Ilan ba yung chicken? Ilan ba yung pig? Okay? So, even those is specific detail, kasama yun. Okay? Nandito lahat yun sa mga dataset ng mga website na to. So, sa library ng CIA, so hindi ko alam kung magkaka-interest kayo dito. Pero sa akin, nagkaroon ako ng interest. So, sobrang parang ganda lang. CIA.gov. Kasi di ba pag sinabi naman natin CIA, parang private fund to ng US, parang sila mismo yung ganito, ganyan. Like, sobrang private na, sobrang hirap nila na. Pero who knows kung totoo ba itong mga data na nandito. Siyempre, nakuha naman na tayo na process and then ipapakita lang nila yung gusto nila ipakita and then tatanggalin nila yung ayaw nila ipakita. So, hindi pa rin 100% na transparent. Pero at least meron silang data na pinapakita, di ba? And so on and so forth. So, napakarami niyan. Okay? Yan yung mga data sets na pwede nyo makita na common nang nangyayari sa isang bansa. Okay? So, kung gusto mo ng certain information when it comes to companies, so mas maganda siguro na instead of, having your own survey, having your own data coming from your customers or clients, you might want to check data or process data that came from other companies, which is similar with your own company. Okay, like hindi lang naman ikaw yung nagbebenta ng tabako, let's say, tabako company ka. So yung iba meron din. So may mga feedback na sila on how to do this, why is it like that, bakit ano yung naging problema, and so on and so forth. So may mga ganun. Alright, so moving on, after that brief discussion, you're going to have your laboratory number 12. So explore a large data set. So in this lab, you will explore a sample data set to view the power of big data. So guide ko na lang kayo. So left click nyo lang to and then i-download nyo lang. Alright, so open natin. So ito yon, ito yung laboratory number 12 nyo. So your objective here is to explore a sample data set to view the power of big data. So gaano daw ba ka-powerful yung big data na to? So before the data can become meaningful information, it needs to be processed, just like what I said multiple times a while ago. Bago mo masabing big data to, okay, before become part of big data, it needs to be processed. So requirements is of course PC with access to the internet. So I think no problem naman, lahat naman tayo is may internet. And of course, dapat lang kasi hindi ka makakapag online class kapag walang internet. And then locate a large free searchable database. So that's the step one that you need to do. So all you need to do is go to this website, which is very specific tong website na to. Okay? Sabi dito, United States Department of Agriculture Statistics Service Database. So agriculture pa lang to, okay? Hindi pa yung kabuuan ng mga parts ng US. So sobrang laki naman ng bansa ng US. So marami silang mga categories dyan when it comes to datasets. So ito lang isa sa mga free searchable dataset ng US. Okay? So babansin niyo ito yung magpapakita and then punta lang kayo sa quick stats, which is also indicated here. So select quick stats. So ito yun, quick stats. So wait lang natin. So can you guys still follow? Hello? Are you guys there? Or
Sir,
okay, so
meron.
nakakasunod pa ba kayo? Alright. So, ito yung magpapakita kapag pumunta ka sa quick stats. So, ito yung pinaka So, sa mga transparent na nakita ko na when it comes to data. Kasi they even have this status here wherein ito yung total records na meron sila. So, they have 45,213,540 records as of this moment. Okay? So, maybe bukas, so maybe 46 million na to. Next day, hindi natin alam, next month, 47 million na. So, pataas ang pataas yan. Okay? And then we have categories here. So, ano ba? Census or survey? So, dito kasi, step number 2. So, from categories, select, blah, blah, blah. So, kayo na mismo yung gagawa niyan kasi ito yung laboratory mismo. So, kayo na yung magpa-follow niyan. So, ang gagawin ko is, kahit ano na lang. Okay, basta may maipakita lang akong data mamaya. So, let's see. Go to survey, economics, and let's go to income, and then, let's see, food commodities. And then sa geographic level, I think meron pa dito. Ayan, meron pa dito. So, pipili ka ng year kung ano ba yung food commodities na income at the year 1990 o to 1992 or yung 2011. So, medyo updated na to, no? Yung nakita ko dati, yung tinignan ko dati, year 2018 sila nag last na update or nag-survey. Pero to 2011. Let's see. 2011 na lang. And then as you can see, pala, nakalimutan ko, as you can see, yung 45 million natin kanina is naging 399 records na lang. Kasi as you go to our subcategories, pipili ka ng sector, mas liliit to. Pipili ka pa ng group, mas liliit na naman to. Pipili ka ng commodity, mas liliit na naman. Hanggang nakapunta natin dito wherein there's now only 399 records from year 2011. Okay? So, isa lang yung data item na nagpakita. So, click nyo lang to. And then, yung total is magpapakita dito. Oops. Para kung bag ba to or walang nagpakita. Wala naman. Anyway, so let's see kung i-double click ko to kung mapupunta ba tayo sa set na yan. Yung geographic level pa yata. Pero supposedly meron pa isa dito eh. Sorry. You need to click this one, total, and then national. Okay, well, anyway, i-guide naman kayo mismo nito kung hanggang saan yung pupuntahan yung category or subcategory. And then US total. And then merong year dito. Well, I think hindi na yan ganun ka-importante kasi isa lang naman yung data natin which is 2011. So once you're done in choosing those subcategories, just click Get Data. Selected items filtered 399 or so let's see. So there should be 399 data sets in here right now. Oh, updated pala siya. So hanggang 2020. So yeah. So they're still updating this data set, which is very good kung ganun siya ka-transparent. So let's say, punta natin ng pinakauna, pinaka-latest. Okay, so during 2020 January, so national, ito yung J level, state is, ito yung US total. Ano ba? And then commodity is food commodities, data item, so ito lang yung parang subcategory, yan, yung pinaka-subtitle kanina, which is yung at year 2011. Index for price received at year 2011. And then, yung value nito is 96.5. So we have, kasi nung dinouble click ko yung 96.5, so nalita ko dito, wherein hinanap niya yung kaparehas niya 96.5. So kung gusto mo yung pinaka-latest, ito na nga lang, double click nyo lang year 2020. And then magpapakita rin yung ibang kasama niya dito na 2020 din. Which is isa lang. Ito, 96.5. So ating, ito yung pinaka-latest na survey nila. So, yun. Tatanungin lang naman kayo, what was the inventory of ducks in Alaska in 2012? So, ilagay nyo lang yung data na nakuha nyo dito. Okay. Which is 9, ano naman yun, 100, 200, 300. So, yung tinatanong kasi dito is kung ilan yung inventory or ilan ba yung ducks na naka-register dun sa Alaska. Alright? Ilang counts of ducks ba. So, yun, being super specific naman siya kung ano yung hinihingi niyang data. Okay, so just put it right here. So pwede nyo itong i-copy paste na lang sa Word and then yun. Just put here your answer. And then, palitan nyo lang yung Alaska into Hawaii. So ilan naman yung DAX nila doon? At the year 2012. So dapat naka 2012 kayo. Okay? And then if you own a company that required DAX, okay, so ito, opinionated na to, how would this database be used of the company? Okay? So let's say meron kang business, okay, about DAX also. Parang gusto mo malaman yung parang population ng DAX at the year 2000, 2005, 2010, 2012 hanggang 2020. So yun, doon na papasok yung pagiging analysis natin as an computer engineering or yung iba naman as an IT. Kasi nag-analyze din sila ng data. So doon napapasok yung at year 2000 sobrang konti pa lang. Pero biglang nag-boom at year 2005 and then biglang bumaba noong 2010 kasi nagkaroon ng let's say mga sakit. Ang tawag dito para ma-flu when it comes to DAX and such and so on and so forth. So ngayon, imagine yourself as an owner of a company that required DAX. So hindi natin alam, baka restaurant ka na nagluluto ng DAX or company ka na kailangan mo yung DAX doon sa product mo. Okay. So hindi natin alam kung ano man. Basta ganun. Okay? So how would this database be of use to your company? Okay? So just state here, okay, at year 2000, so ikaw na bahala, okay, kung ano, paano siya makakatulong sa company mo. Okay, so hanggang doon lang naman for your laboratory number 12. So you can finish this one in just 10 to 20 minutes. Right? Did you guys get the idea of exploring a large data set so far?
Yes, sir.
So may naligaw ba? So when it comes to big data, meron tayong data set. Yung data set na yun yung mga na-public na or free to search na ng ibang tao na pwede nilang pag-aralan. Okay. So, any clarification so far?
None, sir.
Alright, or any tawag dito? Parang curious question. Maybe curious ka sa ganito, ganyan. Any curiosity? Alright, so I think wala. So, you can always, ano ba? You can always explore on your own. Kung sakaling wala ka pa mang katanungan yun. So, kung sakaling may curious ka sa bagay na to, so you can, you try searching. Napaka-powerful ng internet. Okay, so, napakagandang maghanap-hanap. Huwag ka lang mapunta sa deep web. Okay? Alright. So, that's it for your laboratory number 12. So, it's already in Canvas. So, submit nyo na lang doon. And then, what are the challenges of big data? So, actually, sobrang dami. Bago pa magkaroon ng big data, napakarami ng challenges. Okay? Dito pa nga lang, nahawak-hawak mo yung hard drive mo. Hawak-hawak mo yung flash drive mo. Madami ka ng challenges. So, mawawala siya, masisira, mananakaw ng iba, makukuha nila yung data na importante dun sa flash drive. How much more pa kaya kapag nasa cloud na? And then what else? Kasi kapag sa cloud, medyo may, abang tawag dito, meron ka pang control. Okay? Ito yung mga gusto mo ipunta lang dun sa storage mo. Pero kapag big data na, ito na kasi yung maya't maya. Okay? Like literally every second, kinukuha mo yung data, kaya naging big data na siya. We're in raw data pa lang siya na kailangan mong i-process. So yun yung kaibahan niya kapag nasa cloud pa lang, we're in like super specific important files, and then this one is like raw data na hindi mo alam kung may makukuha ka bang important data or mapapakinabangan mo ba yung data na nakuha mo for today or nagsayang ka lang ng oras. Okay. Ganun. So IBM's big data. So ipaalala ko lang, tong IBM natin dati is ito yung first computer na na-create at year 1925, I think, kung hindi ako nagkakamali. And then right now, okay, hindi na sila gumagawa ng computer. They are now slowly shifting into big data analytics company. So again, ulitin ko lang, IBM now is slowly shifting into big data analytics company. Okay, so sila na yung isa sa mga nag-a-analyze ng data na pumapasok sa mga servers or sa mga cloud storage. Okay? So, according from IBM's or IBM company, big data estimates conclude that each day we create 2.5 quintillion bytes of data. Sobrang dami niyan, 2.5 quintillion bytes. Okay, so after ng billion, meron tayong trillion, tapos meron pa tayong quadrillion, and then quintillion. Okay, which is 2.5 of bytes. So, bilang isang quintillion, but two or twice and a half of it, or 2.5 of bytes of data, yung nakukuha natin each day. Araw-araw yan, okay? So just multiply it by 30, then you will get 70 quintillion. So hindi pa yung definite, okay? So estimated lang to, so hindi natin alam, baka yung 70 na yun has a margin of error of 70 to 80 or even 70 to 100. So hindi yun impossible. So hindi natin alam kung kailan bigla na lang, sobrang daming gumamit, sobrang daming nag-upload, sobrang daming nag-like, and such, okay? So to put this into context, every minute of every day, okay, so meron tayong mga sample lang dito na parang very popular na ginagawa ng isang tao, okay, ng isang netizen sa internet. So we upload over 300 hours of YouTube video every minute. Okay, every minute yan. And then we send over 3.5 million text messages every minute. We stream over 86,000 of Netflix video every minute. We like over 4 million Facebook posts. So sobrang dami, 4 million posts in just 1 minute. And then we request over 14 million forecasts from the Weather Channel. Okay? So ito yung interesting part. So bakit, di ko rin alam bakit ngayon ko lang siya nakita. Kasi dati may mga nakita ako pero per day siya. Pero ito meron tayong live feedback. Okay? Live internet statistics. Okay, so click nyo lang to, then mapupunta kayo sa isang website. Close ko lang to. Close ko lang din to. Ayan. Close ko lang din to. Ayan. So as you can see right here, ito yung internet users in the world right now. So live feedback to So we have 4 billion users or 4 billion people, or hindi naman people actually, 4 billion individual gadgets. So pwedeng isang tao kasi connected siya sa tatlong, or meron siyang 4 na device. So 2 cellphone, isang laptop, tapos isang PC. So pwedeng ganun. Okay. So 4 billion for internet users in the world. And then isama mo pa yung mga hindi nakakonect sa internet. Okay, yung mga far-flung areas. So may mga data rin yun na hindi nga lang connected sa internet. And then total numbers of websites, sobrang dami, 1,815,000. Though, pwede mo naman tong i-search sa Google isa-isa. Pero, kung gusto nyo, yan, live feedback for today lang to as of now, November 19, 2020. Okay, ito yung mga live feedbacks na makukuha. Okay, so, depende pa yan. Kung umaga, syempre mas madami. Pag madaling araw, mas kokonti. Okay, so as of now, 1:41 p.m., ganito yung kadami. So, daming nagsa-search sa Google, nagpa-vlog, tweets, upload ng video or nag-review ng video rather, and then nag-upload ng photos sa Instagram, and so on and so forth. So napakarami. Alright? So, yeah. Any questions so far? Or any thoughts regarding with this one? Hello guys. So I think 30 seconds na lang natitira. So tatapusin ko muna hanggang dito muna. And then tutuloy natin yung susunod mamaya sa part 2. Okay? So goodbye
Yes,
for now. And then see you after 5 to 7 minutes. Okay. So let me just check if you guys are there already. Mr. Jairus? You there? Mr.
Yes,
Dumagat?
sir.
Present, sir.
Okay. Mr. Joshua?
Present.
And then Miss Rio.
Present, sir.
All right. It's good. So we've just finished this one, having the live internet statistics. So feel free to visit that one anytime. Okay? Baka may kailangan ko yung data, di ba? So moving on. So the rapid growth of data can be an advantage or an obstacle when it comes to achieving business goals. So of course, rapid growth is a good thing since as we all know, lumalago yung internet natin or yung online businesses. But at the same time, it is an obstacle when it comes to achieving business goals. Why? Kasi parami din ng parami yung mga kinds of data natin. Parami ng parami yung mga different types, different kinds. And then, palaki din ng palaki. Okay? Yung data na na-accumulate natin. So, hindi ko lang alam kung naabutan nyo to, pero hindi ko na rin siya masyadong naabutan. Pero naabutan ko yung parang diskette pa lang siya. And then yung mga yung dati, 16 MB pa lang yun. Okay? So pag may 16 megabyte ka na parang diskette, kung saan mo pwedeng save yung Microsoft Word, may mga kanta, parang mayaman ka na dati. Okay? Nung nagkaroon ka na nga ng kwan dati, parang 120 MB or even 1 gigabyte. Sa gigabyte pa lang manghang-mangha na sila dati. Ang ngayon pa rin naman, malaki pa rin ng gigabyte. Pero imagine dati, yung 4 gig natin ngayon na phase out na, which is 8 gig, yun yung 16 MB nila dati. How much more ngayon pa? Diba? So baka ang standard of flash drive na ngayon is 64 gig or even 128. Okay? So sa mga external nga, minsan wala nang 500 gigabyte, mostly 1 terabyte and above na. Alright, so palaki ng palaki. So with this enormous amount of data being constantly created, so traditional technologies and data warehouses cannot keep up with storage needs. So even with the cloud storage facilities that are available from companies like Amazon, Google, Microsoft, OneDrive, so kahit ilan pa man yan, kulang pa rin yun, okay? And many others, security of stored data becomes a big problem. So gagaya ng sabi ko kanina, even though you have the physical storage in your hand, it is still not safe. So pwede vulnerable ka pa rin sa attack, like of course, yun, kapag wala kang antivirus, na legit, okay, hindi lang yung free trial, okay, so wala talagang, like, 1%, okay, malaki pa nga yung, yung cost na yun yung magbigay ng virus sa'yo, wala na kapag free trial. Okay, so mas magandang gamitin mo na ng Windows Defender, yung default na Windows security ng Windows mo. Okay, mas safe pa yun para sa akin. And then, big data solutions must be secure. Okay, so ito yung pinaka number 1 na pinapangalagaan ng mga company when it comes to online storage like yung mga clouds natin. So we should have a high fault tolerance. Kasi, let's say, secured nga. Pero madali namang, let's say, makorrupt or masira. Okay, so wala din. And use replication to ensure data that does not get lost. So dapat marami siyang replica, like may backup siya dapat lagi. Kung ilan na ba yung data dito, dapat laging binabackup. Just in case, one of them, let's say, get destroyed accidentally or nasira, or kung ano man yun nangyari, at least you have a backup. Okay? So big data storage is not only about storing data, it is also about managing and securing it. Okay? So sa big data, parang ang pinaka-major nyo na dito na definition is data siya na na-process na rin, wherein secured din siya and safe siya. Okay? So hindi lang siya basta data. Kasi sa cloud storage, ang pinapangalagaan lang nila doon is yung security and then yung backup. Dapat meron sila ng dalawa. Pero dito, it should be a process or important data. Okay? When we talk about big data. So there are 5 major data storage problems with big data. Okay, first is management. Very common naman na problema to sa mga data. So yun na nga, ang hirap i-manage, like yung pangalang 5 different kinds of file. Tapos pagsasamahin mo, i-compile mo siya sa isa or dalawa or tatlo. Sobrang hirap na nun. How much more kapag thousands of different sources or different types of data yung pinanggagalingan. Okay, so yung iba dyan, pwedeng may virus pa. So, yung iba dyan, hindi pa tama yung pagkaka-structure. So, sobrang hirap. So, madami kang gagawing program para lang ma-perfect mo yung filtering mo when it comes to managing a certain data. So, first and foremost, it should be organized. Okay? Ito naman yung, I think common naman na to, given na to, organize and should be collate all of the sources. So there are a few data sharing standards and thousands of data management tools available. So yeah, even though maraming mga free or mga application for managing data, mahirap pa rin. Okay? Kasi maya't maya may bago. And then second is security. So given naman na rin na to, ay sa cloud pa lang. Okay, so security, ito na yung dapat pinakapangangalagaan talaga, di ba? Lalo na yung mga malalaking company like Google. So dapat secure yung data nila kasi kung hindi, then madali lang silang pasukin ng mga nangwawasak. Okay, so ito yung mga tinatawag natin black hat hacker. Okay, kasi may mga, naman tayo, may mga white hat hacker tayo or yung mga, ano ba tawag dito na naman? Ethical hacking. Yung tinatawag tayong ethical hacking. Yung iba naman dyan, puro pangwasak lang. So, ayan, yung dapat nila pangalagaan. Kasi kahit isang tao lang yan, tapos napasok niyo yun. So, sobrang dali lang i-corrupt ng isang or ng mga files niya. So, it should be kept secure and only accessible by authorized users. And then redundancy. So, ito yung pangatlo. So, dapat secured muna. And then pangatlo, dapat meron kang backup. Okay. So, syempre, kailangan mong pangalagaan yung integrity mo as an iCloud. So, hindi ka naman basta-basta magsusubscribe sa isang cloud storage kung sa tingin mo, laging nasisiraan yun, laging nakokorrupt yung data. So, dapat meron silang backup. Okay, backup or dapat meron silang solution for disaster recovery. Sakali mang magkaroon ng disaster. Diba? Hindi natin alam. And then, analytics. Okay, so ito na yung part na kasama sa big data na wala doon sa cloud storage. Kasi ito lang yung parang pinakatatlong major na pinapangalagaan. So, dapat sorted siya. You can manage it easily. You can secure it and then meron kang backup. Pero analytics, doon napapasok yung cloud computing natin when it comes to cloud storage. So, parang pag pinagsama mo yun, boom, big data na yun. Okay? Parang ganun. So, when it comes to analytics, so mali-divide siya sa dalawa. We have structured and then unstructured. So, pag sinabi natin structured, ito yung may mga dito, fixed format. Okay? So, lahat ng format nito, same lang sila, ganun lahat. Okay? Like emails, photos, audios, etc. na naka-fix yung file type. Meron naman tayong unstructured wherein the opposite of being fixed is like, kasi parang kapag sabi na unstructured, may freedom ka kahit anong file type of data. So, pwedeng random. Okay? So, mali. Baliktad pala. Unstructured pala yung emails and photos. Okay? And then, structured, ito na yung may format, okay? Which is spreadsheet or Excel. Okay? So, unstructured, ito na yung mga emails, photos, or videos. Okay? Kasi ito, wala siyang certain format wherein kapag video, okay, video siya, pero yung laman niya, hindi natin alam kung paano ba siya i-process or kung paano ba siya i-analyze. Okay? And kapag photo naman siya, so, yeah, photo siya, file type of photo, pero hindi natin alam kung ano bang gagawin natin sa photo na yun. Okay, so pwedeng photos for food, photos for, so marami kang kailangang i-filter. Alright? And so on and so forth. So yun yung pinagkaiba nila. So basically, pag structured, meron siyang fixed format like spreadsheet or yung tatawag natin Microsoft Excel. And then unstructured is like mostly ito yung mga photos, videos, and then audios. Even text messages or news. Okay? So, these storage systems must be able to manage both types. Okay, so dapat yung dalawang yan, hindi lang structured. Dapat dalawang yan na ma-manage ng big data, analytics, and then access. So, this is already given. Isa lang naman yung kailangan natin ito, which is the internet. Pero, meron kasing mga connection or merong mga server, for sure na-encounter nyo na to many times, may mga server na sobrang bagal. Okay? Like even though you have 1 gigabit of connection of the internet, ayan, just make it 1 terabyte. Okay? So sobrang bilis ng internet connection mo. Pero yung sa server, yung upload niya or yung download or upload speed niya is sobrang bagal. So, factor din yun. Okay? So dapat mabilis yung internet connection ng mismong server ng big data. Okay? So it should be accessible from anywhere at any time. Okay? So moving on, so where can we store big data? So papahapyawan ko na lang to kasi na-explain ko na itong pag-computing dati dun sa last module natin. So big data is typically stored on multiple servers. Okay, so hindi lang siya sa isang server kasi nga sobrang laki ng data na yun. Okay, hindi kakayanin niya ng isa lang or dalawa or tatlo. So, parang nag-isip sila ng way, actually, nag-isip sila ng way kung paano ba nila i-distribute. Okay, yun yung pinaka-term natin, i-distribute yung mga data sa mga free spaces natin. Okay? So usually, housed within data centers for security, accessibility, and redundancy. So isa sa mga way na naisip nila is yun ang fog computing. So again, what is fog computing? So this is the server that is parang connected sa isang company or sa isang apartment or sa isang station. Okay? So meron kang sariling physical server. Hindi ka muna mismo didirekta doon sa cloud computing. So doon ka muna sa server na connected sa LAN mo. Okay? And then bakit ganon yung naisip nilang paraan? Kasi maliban sa secured na nga siya kasi you have it on your own. So kung sakaling hindi secured, ibig sabihin pangit yung pagka-configure or pangit mismo yung nabili mong server. So accessibility, so no problem. Nandiyan lang naman eh. Katabi mo lang eh. So, connected sa LAN. Okay? Pangalagaan mo lang. And then, redundancy. So, nasa sa'yo na rin yun kung paano ka magba-backup. Okay? So, in this way, you can have your own big data. Let's say, kung isang company ka, you can have your own big data instead of putting it on one cloud storage. So, yes, nakatipid ka kapag nag-cloud storage ka, pero maraming risk. Unlike if you have it on your own, mas secured, mas mabilis, mas maganda yung backup. Kasi nandiyan lang naman, pwede mo i-backup multiple times kung ilan yung gusto mo. And then again, kapag gusto mo pa siyang i-process furthermore, like for example, bilang naman iisa yung company mo, kung sakali mayaman ka, maraming company, yung company na to sa isang bansa, let's say, meron siyang 5 tawag dito, extension, 5 branches. Yan, tama. Meron siyang 5 branches. So let's say, gusto mo na siyang ipa-analyze or isend mismo sa ibang branch mo. So dito na papasok yung with the connection of internet and then going to cloud. Okay, so of course, bago mo naman siya isend or bago mo siya i-upload dun sa cloud, process na siya. Okay, na-process na mismo ng IT mo yun. Okay, na-process mo na yung mga data na dapat mong kunin. So just wait a second. Alright, so sorry for that one. Medyo maingay yung aso. So, yun. Yun lang naman when it comes to fog computing. So, na-cover ko na yung explanation. So, I'll leave the reading part to you guys. So, tinagalog ko lang actually. So, after the data has been pre-processed, ito na yung important or na-filter na siya. It is often shift off for longer term storage like backup or deeper analysis within the cloud. Alright? So, kapag medyo naguluhan kayo sa isang, may mga subtopics kasi ito eh. So, you can always read everything. So, kinumpleto ko to, hindi ko na tinanggal yung mga iba explanation para kapag wala ka dito sa meeting, kahit na hindi mo napakinggan kung ano explanation ko, at least meron itong mga definition dito wherein you can still understand it. Okay? So, moving on, we have the cloud and cloud computing. Ito, papahapyawan ko na lang din ulit. So, cloud is just where you store, okay, where you fetch, and then where you, actually, dalawang yun lang eh. So, store and then retrieve your data. So, as mentioned before, the cloud is a collection of data centers or groups of connected servers. Access to software storage and services available on the servers is obtained through the internet. So, of course, alam nyo na to, kailangan yung internet para makakonect ka sa cloud storage mo. Okay? So cloud services are provided by many large companies such as, so alam nyo na rin to, marami tayong iba't ibang klase ng cloud storage. We have Google, like Google Drive, Microsoft is OneDrive, and then Apple is iCloud. Okay? So yeah. And then from an individual's perspective, so take note, this one is an individual perspective. So isang tao lang to or mga personal na tao na gumagamit ng cloud storage. So, ito yung experience nila. So, sabi nila, of course, yung mga basic, you can store your data, you can access it, and then uh, uh, ayan, parehas pala access. So, nagkamali ako ng highlight. This one, you can access many applications. And then you can also access your data, okay, anywhere and anytime on any device. Okay? And then, sabi nila, okay, sa mga gumagamit ng cloud storage, so one of the disadvantages of using the cloud is that your data could fall into the wrong hands. Which is, in the first place, kapag nag-store ka doon, nasa maling kamay na. Maliban na lang kapag tiwalang-tiwala ka doon. So, hindi natin alam, di ba, kung tinitignan ba nila yung data mo or binebenta na ba nila yung data mo, etc. etc. Pero, one thing is for sure, ganito lang yan. Okay, bibigyan ko kayo ng maliit na senaryo. Kapag isang tao ka lang naman na hindi ka naman ganun kasikat, okay, I would say that your data is 100% secured. Bakit? Kasi in the first place, they don't know what they will search. Okay? Kasi sobrang dahil hindi naman nila binubuksan lahat ng mga data ng each person na nakasubscribe sa cloud. So, kung isang tao ka lang, hindi ka nung kasikat, and then nandiyan ka lang, hindi nila binubuksan yung file mo doon sa cloud. So, safe yan kasi wala namang magkaka-interest, hindi ka naman ganun kasikat. But, if you are like, maybe kilala ka na when it comes to creating such games, or like this and that, like creator ka ng isang game na sikat, like, let's say maybe Mobile Legends. So, pwede, okay, may possibility na ibenta nila yung data mo. Kaya nga, kung hindi kayo, parang kung naiisip nyo na to pero ito kasi parang nangyari. Kaya parang ang daming pare-parehas or medyo same yung way of creating a game, way of implementing a game. Naiiba lang ng konti, na-edit lang, okay? Pero pare-parehas sila. Okay, like literally 90% same gameplay, iniba lang yung itsura, iniba lang yung ibang features, iniba lang ibang interfaces, pero the same. So, 90% din, okay? So, may 10% pa rin natitira. 90% nabenta na yung data mo, okay? Without you knowing na nabenta na pala nila. Okay? So, binayaran lang nila yung nagmamanage mismo ng nasa cloud na yun. Okay? So, maraming ganon. Okay? So, I hope medyo na-enlighten kayo sa ganong scenario na hindi natin alam, di ba? Kung safe ba talaga yan or hindi. So, your data is at the mercy of the security robustness of your chosen cloud server. So, parang, so sugal na lang talaga, di ba? So, 50-50. Kung maawa sila, di maawa sila. Kung hindi, di hindi. Ganun talaga. Okay? So, just a continuation. So, ito naman is the perspective of an enterprise. So, ito kasi kapag pasok ng enterprise, lagi silang positive. When it comes to business, so business is business. So, kapag personal kasi, of course, ito yung mga individual na experiences mo. Pero dito kasi, isang company na to. So, mostly naman, bago nila ipasa to sa cloud, meron na silang sariling server din. So, mostly, ang ginagawa lang nila is backup lang nila yung cloud storage. Just in case, pupunta sila sa ibang lugar. Pero nakastore na yun sa sarili nila physical server. So, okay lang sa kanila. So, it enables access to organizational data anywhere, anytime. It streamlines the IT operations of an organization by subscribing only to needed services. It eliminates or reduces the need for on-site IT equipment, maintenance, and management. So ito yung pinaka-main kung bakit ginagawa nila to sa mga enterprise. So instead na mag-hire sila ng expert na IT, and meron naman na tayong cloud computing kasi. So yun na mismo, yung cloud computing na yung bahala, mag-maintain, mag-manage, etc. etc. And then it reduces the cost. So ito rin yung pinakamaganda kasi nakaka-save ka nga instead of na buying 100,000 or even 1 million server, mag-avail ka lang. Okay, like 10,000 per year, 20,000 pesos per year. So, yun. Yearly ka nga lang magbayad. Siyempre, in the long run, talo ka din. Pero, ganoon din naman yun eh. Masisira din naman yung server mo. So, hindi naman siya forever. So, yeah, nasa sa'yo na yun. And then, it enables rapid responses to increasing data volume requirements. So, as you can see right here, everything is like positive side when it comes to enterprise. Kasi sila yung, makakatipid ka, hindi mo na kailangan magbayad ng ganito, ganyan. So, parang favorable to when it comes to businesses. Alright? So moving on, we have here distributed processing. So ito na yung isa sa mga way wherein pagpasok kasi ng big data, gagamit ka na ng fog computing. So yung fog computing na yon is mapapasa sa mga maraming computer or connected siya sa isang or let's say, isang server connected sa maraming computer. Or pwedeng itong server nito is connected to the internet and then connected sa ulit sa maraming computer. Okay? So eto, gumawa sila ng way para mas mapabilis yung process instead of one server, okay, processing that large amount of data. So gumamit lang tayo ng distributed na application wherein ipaprocess siya ng multiple computers for faster, okay, process. So, i-skip ko na tong part na to. Distributed data processing takes the large volume of data and breaks it into smaller pieces. Wherein, yun na nga sabi ko, isasend niya lang to or i-distribute niya lang to dun sa mga mas maliliit na computer natin. Okay? So these smaller data volumes are distributed in many locations to be processed by many computers with smaller processors. So each computer in distributed architecture analyzes its part of big data picture, which is, we call that one horizontal scaling. So kapag iisa lang, isang server, we call that one vertical scaling. Kapag napasa niya na, we now call that one horizontal scaling. So most distributed file systems are designed to be invisible. So ito yung kagandahan when it comes to distributing a data or distributing file system or yung itong application ito, itong distributing a certain data. They made it invisible, not really invisible. Sorry. So not really invisible, pero hindi mo mararamdaman, okay? So let's say itong laptop ko connected dun sa server ng let's say company namin. So pwede niya akong pasukin anytime kasi nga connected naman ako sa server, connected din ako sa server, so pwede rin akong pumasok doon. And ginagamit niya, okay, yung spaces ng computer ko. Minsan, okay, hindi naman palagi. So let's say may pumasok na data and then it needs to be processed like for a long run. So ang ginagawa niya para mas mapabilis, dinidistribute niya na yun sa mga connected computers. Okay. Just like what you're seeing in this picture right now. So that way, horizontal scaling na tayo and then mas mabilis na yung process. Kasi ginagamit niya na yung processor ko mismo. Right? And then, ito na yon yung isa sa mga nagawa nila when it comes to dealing with big data volumes. So we call that one Hadoop. Okay? Hadoop is parang standard na when it comes to dealing with big data. So ito yung ginagamit ng karamihan. Actually, lahat. Bakit? Kasi meron tayong two facets wherein, sabi dito, okay, hindi ko pa naman na-experience, it's fault-tolerant file system and then it's map-reduce. So, bago pala tayo mag-proceed sa definition, here's the acronym of Hadoop. So, Hadoop is Distributed File System or HDFS. So, ito yung ibang name niya when it comes to ano tawag dito? Ito yung acronym, okay? Or yung other term when it comes to Hadoop. So, HDFS, yung tawag natin dyan. Okay? So, Hadoop is open source software. So, libre lang naman siya. Enabling the distributed processing of large datasets can be terabytes, insights, and that are stored in clusters computers. So, Hadoop is designed to scale up from single servers to thousands of machines. So, same idea siya ng distributed data processing. Actually, ganun na ganun yung idea niya kung bakit create itong Hadoop. So, siya mismo ngayon yung magmamanage ng mga data mo or ng mga ipaprocess ng data. So, from single server into thousands of machines. So, hindi lang basta thousands of machines. Pwede yung machine na yon or yung single machine na yon, pwede mong gamitan pa ng virtual machines or yung VMs natin. So, na-discuss na natin to sa last module natin. So, alam niyo na siguro yung virtual machine wherein you have a computer inside of your computer. So, pwedeng maraming computer inside of one computer. Okay? So, Hadoop has two main features wherein yun na nga, fault-tolerant file system siya wherein it automatically replicates data. And then, MapReduce wherein scalability niya is mas mabilis. Okay, yung processing is mas mabilis kasi nga pinapasa-pasa niya na sa mga karatig niyang computer. Okay? Alright, so why do businesses analyze data? Kasi, to make it short, yung na-analyze ng data, so parang ito na kasi yung survey or yung feedback na nakukuha nila. So from that survey or feedback, gagawa sila ng analyzation, paprocess nila yon, and then gagawa nila ng solution or ng mga recommendation kung ano man yung mga process ng data. So, hindi yun magiging useful na data hanggat hindi mo siya napaprocess. Kagaya nga ng sabi dito, to businesses, data is the new oil. Like crude oil, it is valuable, but it is unrefined, so it cannot be easily used. And then crude oil has to be changed to gasoline, plastic, chemicals, and other substances to create a valuable product. So it is the same with data. Data must be broken down and analyzed for it to have a value. Okay? So value comes from two primary types of process data. So meron tayong transactional and then analytical. So the first one is you're going to do the transactional wherein you're going to capture and process as event happen. So ito yung parang live na ginagawa mo habang nakakapag-fetch ka ng isang data. And then afterwards, anong gagawin mo? Okay? Anong gagawin mo dun sa na-capture yung data? Of course, dito napapasok yung analysis natin para malaman natin kung useful ba siya or hindi. Kukunin mo, ikikip mo ba siya as your data or hindi, etc. etc. And then sources of information. So to make it short, everything. Okay. Pero ito lang yung mga parang mga basic when it comes to getting a certain information. So mostly naman dyan is coming from sensor data. Okay, like camera, audio, and so on and so forth. Scan, enter, release, blah, blah, blah. So napakarami. Okay? And then, collected data can be categorized as structured. So kagaya na sabi ko, we have structured and then unstructured. So structured is a fixed format. So meron tayong spreadsheet and so on and so forth. Okay? And then yung spreadsheet kasi na yun, pwede mo pa siya i-convert into more standard fixed format. So ang tawag na natin doon is comma separated values or CSV. So instead na naka-table siya, instead na may table, gagamit ka na lang ng plain text. Okay, wherein plain text file that use commas to separate columns in a table of data. So instead of table, gagamit ka na lang ng comma para ma-separate mo yung dalawang column. Okay? And the next one, unstructured, is a free form. Okay, so just the opposite of fixed. Free form style. Mostly, okay, ito yung mga audio, video, photos, web pages, and then tweets natin. Kasi random yung mga yan. So yeah, we have a common format. Pero ano ba yung nasa loob nila? How do you process those kind of formats? Unlike kapag naka-text siya, so pwede ka na mag-type ng mga filters na pwede mong gawin. Okay, kukunin mo lang yung date, kukunin mo lang yung year, month na October, and then year 2020, so on and so forth. So you're being specific when it comes to structured data. Unlike unstructured data, so hindi natin alam kung paano mo ba siya ipaprocess. And then, web pages are created to provide data to humans, not machines. So meron tayong web scraping that can extract data from HTML pages. So ito yung isa sa mga tool na ginagamit nila. Okay, we call that one web scraping para makakuha. Okay, actually ito na yung way of doing data mining. Okay, kung narinig nyo man yun, data mining wherein you get a raw data from a certain website, and then from that raw data, it will now be processed into a useful data. Okay, so gumagamit sila ng bot or web crawler. Okay, so yun yung mga basic applications para makakuha ng mga useful information. So, yung iba dyan, ginagamit nila to, okay, para makakuha ng marami kasing use to it. You know, like to get a personal information. So, ano ba yung mga personal information na makukuha mo sa taong to? Okay, i-filter mo lang yan and then kukunin niya na yung information na makukuha niya regarding with this person and such. So, mostly ginagamit to for hacking. Okay? But not all. Okay? Mukha mo lang naman siya para sa mga useful information. Ganun na nga lang. And then many Large web service providers such as Facebook provide standardized interfaces to collect data automatically using application programming interfaces. So, pinaka-common na ginagamit ng Facebook is RESTful APIs. So, it is an HTTP as communication protocol and JSON structure to encode the data. So, yun na nga, sa Facebook, fix naman na kasi yun kapag mag-chat ka, so ito dapat yung pipiliin mo. Pero of course, kino-convert pa rin nila into more structured data. So, yeah. And then moving on, we have data visualization. So, marami naman tayong ways kung paano siya ipakita. So, as you can see right here, we have here a line graph, a pie chart, tawag dito, column chart, and then scatter chart, and then a bar graph. Okay? So, data mining is the process of turning raw data into meaningful information by discovering patterns and relationship in large data sets. So, to be precise, yung mga nakuha mong data, hindi mo naman yung babasahin isa-isa di ba? Kasi sobrang dami nun. So, after mo siyang ma-mine, after mong mamina or makuha yung mga data na yun, gagamit ka ngayon ng chart. Okay, kino-convert mo yung data na yun into chart para mas unang, 2 seconds pa lang, 3 seconds pa lang, yun na yung makita mo or nakuha mong data. So, ganun kabilis. Pero of course, dahil sobrang dami naman ng data, so minsan sobrang laki niyan. Okay? So, kung gusto mo ng specific data, so you should narrow down, ano ba tawag dito? You should narrow down the area na sinasakop ng namimina mo. Okay? So, you must be specific. Pero kapag ginawa yon, syempre, mas marami ka na nag-configure para mas ma-filter out mo yung mga information na gusto mong kunin. Okay? So, yan. Isa lang naman to when it comes to showing our raw data using data mining. Okay? And then after that, you're going to have a short quiz. So, short topic assessment. So, sobrang dali lang naman na ito. Galing din siya dito sa module na to. So, just check your Canvas later on. And then, summary. So, big data usually has 3 characteristics. So, nasabi ko na ngayon. Ito yung volume natin, yung velocity, and then yung variety. Okay? And then, pag computing, ito na yung gagamit tayo ng one server into one certain company or yun. And then, connected na siya sa internet for deeper analysis of data. Okay? Or mostly, magamit tayo ng pag computing kasi meron na tayong pre-processed data doon sa lugar na yun or sa bagay niyo. And then cloud is just a collection of data centers wherein it can be connected to multiple servers. Wherein, of course, in cloud, you can store, fetch, you can process if you're going to use cloud computing. And then distributed data processing takes large volume of data from a source and breaks it into smaller pieces. So yun na nga, from the word distributed, from large into smaller. And then ipaprocess nila and then ko-collect mo lahat ulit and then useful information yung makukuha mo. Okay? And then businesses gain value by collecting and analyzing massive amounts of new product usage of data. So given na to, kahit tayo naman, kahit hindi tayo mga businessman, ito yung ginagawa natin. Collect tayo ng mga data, mga raw data, para makuha natin kung ano ba yung solution natin dito, yung recommendation, and such, and so on and so forth. And then collected data can be categorized into 2. So again, meron tayong structured and then unstructured. So yung structured natin, meron tayong fixed format like spreadsheet, kagaya ng sabi ko kanina. And then unstructured is yung pre-form natin. Okay? And then meron kayong mga ibang application para pa mas, mas maging structured pa siya. Para ma-convert nyo siya into structured data. Okay? And then data mining is mining. From the word itself, getting a raw data and then converting or processing it into meaningful information. Okay. So here's my reference, which also came from I2, IOT 20. And then, yeah, that's it. So good thing, konti lang yung module 3 natin. So we will finish the module 4 and 5. Let's see kung mag-meet tayo for the entire 4 hours next meeting. Okay, kasi dalawa yung meeting natin this coming meeting. So, any questions so far? So,
None,
sorry.
sir.
Sorry kung medyo mabilis. So, I hope nakahabol naman kayo kasi wala na tayong oras. Sobrang konti na lang. I think 20 seconds na lang. So, if you
Okay lang.
have... Okay lang ba? So, if you have a question, so feel free to message me in my group message. Feel free to message me in my messenger. Alright, so yun lang muna. Goodbye and then see you next meeting.